Domi, how to add you? Okay, go. Okay, hold on. Oi, здрасте. Okay, how can I put the
I think we are live because I
Domi,
just
but
said that.
but
Uh-huh.
why I can't see you? Like, hold on, connecting. Okay, I got it. How can I
You
put
should
this?
see me.
Not yet. It says connecting.
I can see both of us on the screen, so it's good.
Really? Hold on.
Yeah,
Why?
just give it a second. I sent you a request and I think you clicked.
Oh, hold on,
Yeah, it's
Laura.
working.
Hello. Yeah, but why I can't see you? And it says connected, connecting.
Hmm. Hello, Laura. Long time not seen, huh? I don't know. Give it a moment. I think
What the hell?
it's just loading.
Peter, hello. Nice to see you. Laura, hey. Wait, I'm waiting for Domi. I wanted to put filter on my face because like this, I mean, I don't have even makeup, I don't have eyebrows, nothing. But I don't know how to put filter here, so I think we're gonna skip. Oh, Mama. Mom, hello. Guys, I'm gonna wait a little bit because it shows me waiting for Dominika, so I hope it's gonna work. Mm.
Okay, can you hear me?
Hey! Dominika!
Yay!
Hello!
Okay, so it's working. Yay!
Yes.
Oh, good to see you. I haven't seen your face for a while.
I
We've been
haven't
chatting.
seen your face for a while. My face is so red.
Don't worry, I just woke up half an hour ago, so it's all
Really?
good.
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
tell you
here
it,
with
but
you having my tea. So everybody who joined us, hi. Hi,
guys,
Maya.
thank
Hi,
you so
Bibi.
thank you so much. Oh, Lisa, hello. So nice, guys. Thank you for joining. Okay, shall we wait a little bit or shall we start? What do you think?
I think it's time to start, you know. They will
Yeah.
not miss on anything. They will just join us as it goes. Yeah.
Okay. Nadia, if you're watching this, this is your woman behind me. This is the something I inherited from Nadia. Okay, who else
Okay.
here? Okay. Well, it doesn't actually feel that scary as I thought it would. Oh, guys, and I want to share with you one life hack. If ever you want to clean your phone from your media files at the last moment, never do it. Like, never do it. I spent now 2 hours. I managed to move some stuff away in my computer, but like I was hysterical. I almost started to blame myself that I'm such a stupid cow who is usually doing things at the last moment. But I have like 6 giga on my phone, so I hope I will be able to save the video. Okay, shall we start?
Of course, yeah.
Domi, you look so fresh. My God, New Zealand suits you well.
Ooh, I had like 6 hours of sleep, so I'm not sure about that. You see, my eyes
Really?
are still small, but it's all good.
It's okay. Okay, guys, I'm just gonna do a little introduction. Obviously, all of you, you either know both of us, or you know me, or you don't Dominika. Yeah. For those of you who know only Dominika or you, I'll just say that we are good friends. We met 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago in London. We used
Yeah.
to work together in the restaurant, and we like our friendship just kind of flourished since then. And we've been in touch for all this time of lockdown. Actually, Domi is now in New Zealand. I'm in London. We are in very different positions where I'm working. I mean, I'm off work at the moment, but I'm being like, I think I'm in a privileged situation. I'm being paid fully, so I'm not worried about money, and I'm just resting. Domi is in a different position. You are in New Zealand. You are not working at the moment, even though you were planning to work. And so
Hmm.
that's why we had like different challenges when all these things started. And so Люд, привет. Why we decided to share it, because we were talking about it a lot and a lot, and we came to realize that actually we kind of grew up during all those like 4 5 weeks, and it all was like very, how to say, I mean, we needed to take time to process certain things, and we
Yeah.
had like weeks, we went through different fears. fears which were not necessarily related to, you know, fear to be contracted, like to contract the virus and die. Even though I know a lot of people, even among like my friends, there were people who were really scared, but like it's not about this at the moment. We all faced some sort of fears, and because we had so much time for ourselves, we kind of had no choice but to face it, because, you know, when you're spending the time at home, not doing nothing, but, you know, like having a lot of time to think, like sooner or later you start like questioning what's going on with me, why I'm worried about it, why I'm so anxious, why I'm blaming myself all the time, and so on and so on. And so we wanted to share it because we really, I think we drew some great conclusions out of it, and I think we motivated each other, and we moved
Yeah.
on in one way or another, right? Even like, you will tell about your yoga videos. It's amazing.
Okay, it's
Okay.
just one piece of the story.
Yeah, okay. Domi, wait, I'm gonna open hold on, where are my questions? Questions to you. How shall we start? What do
Yeah,
you think?
like if you have any questions, come on. It will help me to,
Okay,
yeah.
let's start with you, because like as I told, I have not much to share, because when all this started, I was at home, I'm in London, I'm living in a nice area, you know, I'm not working, so like I have money because I'm getting my salary. So like no fear about what's going to happen to me money wise. You're in a different situation. So I think it's interesting if you share what happened when you actually, when they announced the lockdown in New Zealand, because
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
about okay, go ahead, tell about your plan and what was the plan, why you came to New Zealand, and
Okay.
so on and so on.
Well, so initial plan was actually to travel, okay? Me and my boyfriend, we were super excited about the idea of traveling for a little bit longer than 2 or 3 weeks. So we planned this thing, which we called lifetime adventure. Um, we we wanted to explore the beauty of nature. Ideally, we wanted to get a van and then travel around the islands for 6 months up to a year, probably. And we've been on the way for 2 months, taking it really easy, staying at each place as long as we wanted, until the lockdown happened. And to be honest, for some reason we didn't expect it coming. The virus was already like going wild in Europe, but for some reason we felt like we are so far away from this craziness that we are actually in the best place we can possibly be. But it happened. There was just a few cases, but New Zealand government took decisions and introduced all the restrictions really quickly. So they didn't want to wait for it to escalate. I think it was under 100 of cases when they decided to go into full lockdown. But for us, we just bought a car. We were just about to start the tour, okay? We were sitting on the campsite when we learned we have 48 hours to find a place to stay for the next 4 weeks or more. Okay, so even though all this thing was happening in Europe already for a couple of weeks, I was updated, you know, I knew from you, I knew from my family. So we were still kind of surprised that our plan has to collapse or has to be postponed until everything calmed down. And I think the biggest worry was that nobody knew what's going to happen after 4 weeks. So we were here to travel. Okay, also that's an important piece of information. Nobody can travel. I mean, maybe some people can, but most of the people cannot travel for a year without an income. Not in a country like New Zealand. So we came here on a working holiday visa, which allows you to do both, to travel and to do some seasonal jobs, some part-time jobs, some short-term jobs in between your travels, so you can support your traveling further on. So that's like a background of what was the initial plan till the lockdown happened. Yeah.
Okay, what happened next? Because I think you need to share two stories: the story about money and your fears about money, and the story about the accommodation, because this was like two major things for you.
First thing was just like a confusion of what to do next. There was a lot of things happening at the same time, and to make this what we thought was like life changing decision, because the decision, we were asking all the possible questions. Should we stay? Should we take the last plane to Europe and just get fuck out of here? Should we, should we live in this car which we just bought? I mean, it's winter here, it might be a little bit too cold in a week or two, should we stay on the campsite? But the truth is, campsites and hostels started to lock down. The prices of Airbnbs went up within a couple of hours, because people knew that the travelers are going to look for accommodation like now. So everybody who could were trying to benefit from the situation. So we had to calm down. That was the first thing we had to do, because we were just sitting on that campsite, having our morning coffee and okay, what are we doing here? Okay, so we even called the embassy, but to be honest, even workers of embassies, both of them, Slovenian and Polish, they didn't have the answers. They didn't know what's the right thing to do. One embassy told us that if we do not have 10,000 euros in the pocket, we shouldn't even think about going back home. Because the prices of those last planes, went all the way up.
It sounds so dramatic. Last plane to Europe. That's it.
That's the phrase everybody was using. So we really didn't know if there will be any planes back to Europe after the lockdown. At this point, New Zealand closed the borders. They said we are not gonna take any more tourists until the vaccination is out, but that's a complete different topic. But at that very moment, the embassies told us, guys, you cannot even afford to go home. Polish embassy just told me to find a place to stay and to wait it out. So different inputs from different people. My family was saying, stay, it's crazy here, you don't want to be in Poland. Right? Bojan's family was just come home, you're gonna be safe here. But this idea even, of traveling through the whole world in this and arriving to this epicenter of virus seemed so crazy to me that I opted for staying here and waited it out. Bojan was maybe a little bit more inclined of let's sell this car, which we just bought 2 days ago, and go home. But we didn't even have a chance to get on that plane. It was just Germans arranging repatriation flights for its citizens, and you could get on the list to be one of the European citizens who can join. But eventually our decision was to stay. And what we did, we have to find a place to stay during the lockdown. So we started to post in all possible Facebook groups. Well, I mean, here the human kindness just saved us, basically, because we knew a couple of people on the southern island, but all of them said no to hosting us. And it was a disappointment, to be honest. Let's face it, you think, we are here for 2 months. For sure, somebody will have us, somebody will have a spare room. But then in the time of crisis, everybody was like, sorry, but I have my family. Sorry, but I need to look after my mom. Sorry, but you guys are travelers, so you are at first risk. So if anybody would bring virus to them, it would be us, because we are on the way and we have a contact.
Domi, can I stop you here for a second? Because I remember when you told me about this, I was so shocked. I was like, I fucking can't believe somebody told you no, I can't have you in my house. So how did it feel? How does it feel when people tell you this?
I mean, we were sad. It was disappointment, because if at any point you need help, it's in a situation like that, where they knew we have no roof over our head. They knew literally a picture, posted a picture in the car, guys, we need a home to stay. But each of them had a reason, so nobody was just no. Each of them had a reason. And to be honest, they kept contacting us during the lockdown saying guys, are you okay? Did you find something? So we were in touch, they were checking on us, but eventually we felt we are on our own, okay? It's just 2 of us. And to be honest, it was a very important moment for me, because for the first time in my life, I felt nobody will save me. Like usually when I was in a really distressful situation, when I was struggling, when I was heartbroken, I was just going home. I was taking either train or plane. It was reachable. So I was going home to my parents. I was, you know, it was my safe port. It was always my safe place to stay. But I was too far to go home this time. And I remember we were sitting with Boyan, crying at some point and saying to each other, okay, that's what being adults mean, you know? We are in this together. Yeah. And to be honest, I know people had bigger problems. Many of us are in challenging situations, but this is our story. So
Of
this is
course,
how
no,
we felt, and
absolutely, yeah.
this is how we dealt with that. Yeah. So at that point, mm, when we heard no from people we knew, we started to post in random Facebook groups, just asking for a cheap place for rent. Maybe somebody has a spare room. And one lady, actually a Polish lady from the community of Polish people living in New Zealand, which usually for me is the last place to go. Like somehow, you know, I was never like, oh, this is, you know, my buddy from my country. I don't care where you're from. But one lady texted us saying, guys, I cannot offer you much. I have a small apartment, but you will have a safe place to stay. So come. And we literally packed everything from that camping and we went straight to her place. She cooked a dinner, she opened a bottle of wine and she said, relax, you're gonna be fine. Like, it's not about the money. I don't care if you don't have money to, you know, contribute to rent. We're gonna make it, we're gonna go through it. And yeah, that's why I'm saying that, like, the acts of kindness are what actually saved us. It wasn't the only one, but like when you are in such a stressful situation, when there are so many questions, so many unknown, these little gestures are so important, you know. It just gave me such a hope that there are still good humans and that we are not in this alone, because we are actually in this all together. Everybody going through a little bit different situation, but we are all fucking scared. Nobody knows what's gonna happen, you know. Yeah, so this is how we found a place to stay on the first place. Yeah.
Okay, tell me about the money, because remember, money was the big issue for you, like the
Mm.
fear of not having enough money.
To be honest, it wasn't like that we were broke.
Yeah, I
Broke.
know. That's the point,
Yeah,
actually, that you are not
that
broke.
we were not broke because you do not go to the other side of the world completely broke. So we had some savings which could last for a couple of months probably. But one of the biggest fear we had was how we gonna support ourselves financially if we cannot work. So, you know, but if we're gonna stay here for this couple of months and spend our savings, we will not even be able to afford that flight to go back home. So what happened was that businesses closed, like in most of the countries. The hospitality, the tourism just stopped operating without any hope of being reopened any soon. So most of our options for employment just disappeared, you know. So yes, we were scared, but you know what I realized? That like these fears, you know, they usually live in the future. They are not here and
Exactly,
now,
yeah.
but they just come from this vague thing, you know. And I was talking to you, I remember, and you said like, Domi, but you actually have money for now. Like this is not bad. And I was like, she's right, you know. So after, like, we just realized we need to focus at one step at the time. And you know, my glass is usually half full. Okay, I'm an optimist, so I just act from where I am, and I take it one step at the time. But the first week of lockdown, yeah, it was full of questions and full of fears, and this fear of not being able to support myself financially was one of those, definitely.
I just want to add here, because I remember we were talking about it, and because you and me, we have like very, I mean, I know that you told me that you always had savings because this is how you were brought up, and you always have,
Yeah,
like, you know, like a safety pillow. And I, as an opposite, even though I am
yeah,
for having
yeah.
savings, I never have savings. I quite often have debts. Now I'm paying like some of my debts. And I told you, like, hold on, what did I tell you? I was like, Domi, listen, I'm living all the time, like I'm paying
Yes.
my debts back. Now I have only my salary, but I'm funny enough, I'm never worried about what's going to
Yeah,
happen next. So
yeah.
I told you, think about it. Maybe it's just like a fear, which like has no grounds to exist, because you still have this chunk of money on your account, and it will last for some time, and
Mm.
then you will figure out, And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember
And
you,
no, that
and
was super helpful, and that's why it's amazing to have friends with completely
who,
different
who
mindsets,
don't
you
have
know?
savings.
Yeah, I stopped you there. You wanted to add
Robbie,
something else.
hello. Yeah,
Ooh,
no. It's
Rebecca.
just, and no, because I remember, yeah, we were talking about it, and I was like, Domi, it's so funny because I have like no zero worries about money, and I think to have savings is a good thing. But well, anyway, this is the
No, but you
thing.
know what was our problem? Like, again, we just felt we are in such a vulnerable space, so far from home, without
Mm,
job, like we didn't know for how long it's gonna last. So it would be fine, probably. I mean, I think we would be feeling much more safe if we were in one of our countries.
mm.
But just this idea, yeah,
You know what all this like weeks taught me? I really like taught this lesson. We can never question somebody's feelings about any situation, because for example,
mm,
I can tell you like, oh, Domi, why do you worry about money? I don't, but I'm not in your situation. I'm not in New Zealand, I'm not working. So it's like I can hear you, but I can't feel the situation you're in.
yeah,
The same like, some of my friends are telling me from Russia, they're like, Yana, listen, I can't be with my child at home anymore and do
yeah,
homework. So it's like
yeah,
I hear you, but I can't
yeah,
put the experience through me because I don't have kids and I'm not doing the homework. So, and like all this period like really taught me not to judge
yeah.
nothing, like nothing. And actually, yeah, so
I
just,
remember, Yana, you even told me at some point, like, don't be, what are you worrying about? You're having adventure of your life. You're with your boyfriend, you're in New
exactly,
Zealand,
yeah.
And I was like, fuck, she has no idea what I'm going through. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
remember.
you were right. You just see a part of the picture. You don't know what's really happening.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah, like we are, Okay, you know what? And can you also tell me, because I know that, so you found this accommodation and then you felt quite safe, and the lady, this is important to highlight that the lady who gave you this flat, she actually moved out to be with like your
Yeah.
boyfriend, right? But then
Hmm.
in a couple of weeks, she came back saying, hey guys, can I please have my flat back? Because
Yeah.
I need to, I'm checking time. I need to, like, I want to separate with my boyfriend. And you were worried, you started to worry again about, like, oh my God, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to find another accommodation. And you found
Yeah, I
it.
mean, we learned from one day to another that she's coming back. She didn't kick us out, of course. We could stay with her, but the apartment was really small. It was like actually one room that we would have to share with her. So we didn't want to bother her for too long. She was working from home also. So yeah, just like another search for accommodation started. Again, it was in the middle of the lockdown, so 99% of people said like, no way, we're gonna come during the lockdown, like you need to wait until this is over. But we like came across a couple of backpackers who rent this beautiful house, and they had a one spare room, so they invited us here to join them for the time, like for the rest of the lockdown, which was following like 3 or 4 weeks. We are still in the lockdown. It's gonna last for 2 more weeks probably. Mm, well, yeah, nobody knows, but there are 4 levels of restrictions. We are on level 4, but going into level 3 tomorrow. Yes, we found a new place to stay. We had new worries coming up, as everybody does as it goes. But yeah, I mean, things are working out for us. So if I allow myself to be present and to stay here and look around and notice that everything is fine, I'm completely relaxed, and I'm enjoying it. But if I get caught into my thoughts of what the future holds, this is when I feel a little bit anxious.
Okay. Listen, now a coaching question. Say
Ooh.
like if you had to compare yourself now and
Mhm.
4 or 5 weeks ago when this all
Mm.
started, what was your
Yeah.
what was your growth? What were like the
Oh,
areas of growth?
well, amazing things. I mean, one of these things that yeah, that fear, like, you know, fears are paper tigers, they say. So they usually live in the past or future. And as long as I work and use all my tools to be present and to deal with one thing at the time, it's okay, you know. So I switched to solution, like to looking for the solutions at the very moment. So to face the problems once they exist, not once they are just in my head. And also to like work on the fears, so don't let them grow inside of my head like wild cats.
How do you do
But
it?
you know, when I speak them out, when I write them down. Okay, I also use yoga and meditation. I meditate or like do yoga because this gives me space within, you know, it gives me space in my head, in my heart. It gives me perspective to the situation. So if like I'm so tangled in my thoughts, I usually don't make the decision. I usually take some time to create this more quiet, more peaceful space, and then I act from there. But yeah, also like talking to somebody helps. Recording a message to your good friend who is in London helps.
15 minutes of
Uh,
messages, yeah.
yeah, gaining different perspective helps. All of this helps to like, you know, to take the power back to yourself, like not to give the fear the steering wheel. How is that? It was Elizabeth Gilbert who said like, don't let the fear drive, you know,
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
sit
Yeah.
at the back seat of the car, but don't let it drive. So yeah, they still exist, you know, like we have another one now, like we need a job, there's no jobs, we keep on searching. Boyan got some part-time jobs which was enough for us to like pay for this house. But yeah, we keep on searching. It's not that easy, but I guess it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay.
Kasia.
Kasia, good to see you. Okay, you know what? I want to share like my bit of the story because you know I didn't have any fears. Like I'm not very fearful person when it comes to viruses or whatever. But I literally, you know, I noticed a lot of shit, like I don't know how to call it otherwise, came up. And I literally was like facing sides of me which I thought I kind of dealt with them, but I
Uh-huh.
didn't. And you know, the first one was like a lot of judgment. And you know,
Mm,
like I told you that at the beginning, and now I actually worked on it, and now it's much better, it's almost gone. I was extremely judgmental towards people who were in fear.
mm,
Like I was extremely judgmental. I was like, oh my God, they're wearing masks, they're wearing gloves. What the hell is this? And the thing is, I think we can allow ourselves to be judgmental and to have our own opinion and to gossip with our friends. Come on, I'm gossiping with my friends all the time about people who are like driving bicycle and wearing mask. But there is another thing of the story when you trying to prove those people that they are wrong. Because the thing is, as long as they don't impose their opinion on you, they have their right
mm,
to have their own opinion. And for me, I had like two these big bangs which happened. One happened with my flatmate Fernando. You know, Fernando is like a very nice guy, very peaceful. And so we had this conversation. We were having dinner. We had this conversation, and all of a sudden we started not to fight, but there was like a lot of tension because I started to prove him my point of view, and
mm,
he had his point of view, like all this Corona situation, because he's watching like you know like mainstream media. I'm reading different sources, and so we came to the point where I was like, so you believe your like media, why don't you believe
mm,
my sources? And he was like, Yana, I just don't believe your sources. And I just like caught myself in the moment that I was like, oh my God, we're fighting. And I was like, Fernando, listen, let's just do this. Let's not talk about the whole Corona thing. Like, let's just not like talk about it. And Fernando, because you know, he's like super chill. He's like, okay, Yana, let's just not talk about it. And like we actually managed not to touch the subject at all, at all, at all. So sometimes like I was
mm,
coming, for example, he's sitting in the kitchen having his dinner. I can see he's watching news. And I felt like I want to comment so much, like, are you watching this bullshit again? And then I was like, Yana, just shut up. Don't comment. Don't comment. And actually now, so 4 weeks later, we actually like came to the point where we can sit easily and just
mhm,
discuss. And now we are actually talking about the situation because I guess he probably opened up a little bit to the like you know alternative opinions about what's
mhm,
going on, and I also kind of trained myself to let him believe in what he
Mm-hmm.
believes. And so now we like easily we can talk about, you know, like all this corona thing, but we're very like, you know, two diplomats sitting like having dinner and talking. So this
Mm-hmm.
was like one thing. And another thing also, which kind of, it was like a wake-up call for me, where we had a chat, we were chatting on WhatsApp, me and two of my friends from London, Laura and Lisa. And we started to fight with Lisa, like on WhatsApp
Mm-hmm.
messages. And it was like, it just came out of the blue. It was just bam. And I was like, what the hell is going on with me? Why am I so like trying to prove somebody my point of view? And you know me, I'm always saying that I'm the person who never, like, I don't like to argue. When I'm drunk or tipsy here, yes, like I have this thing, like I can become really aggressive. But when I'm sober, like I don't care what you think. I don't care about your opinion. So I never argue. But why with this coronavirus, I just felt so strongly that, like this need to prove somebody that like they are in fear. Oh, you're so wrong that you're in fear. So anyway, this was for me another wake-up call. I got so angry. Lisa, I was so angry with you. You can't imagine. And I was like,
Lisa is here.
yeah, she's here. And I was like, and I like, you know, and I was like, just, it was like rolling in my mind, like the whole night. And I was like, why? What is there for me? What I'm trying to prove to anybody? So anyway, I kind of worked on it. I don't know how, but
Yeah,
little
that's
by
a really good
little,
question.
I
Yeah.
don't know how. It just happened like very organically, naturally, but little by little, I became completely tolerant to all the people who were in masks and who are, you know, who are scared. Like, and I'm like, I don't even have to push myself, you know, to become tolerant. I'm like naturally tolerant, you know. I'm going to my local Tesco. There is a huge queue on the parking to enter. I'm like, okay, I'm going to queue, whatever. You know, then I have when I have calls with my colleagues, we have a group call once a week. When they start talking about again, like about all this thing, I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm just going to knit. So I'm listening to my colleagues and I'm just sitting knitting. But I'm very proud of myself that actually I managed to kind of like just become less judgmental because
Mm.
I was super judgmental, super, you know.
Mm.
And then there was another, yeah, tell me.
No, I just wanted to say that we were all put in this like super abnormal situation, you know, which no one knows how to deal with, and we've been all triggered in one way or the other,
No,
you know.
absolutely.
It's
But
like you said, you're either stuck with like your family at home, like having three kids all around you 24 hours, or you know, like you have to be at home alone and you hate being alone. I mean, whatever it is, whatever kind of fear, you know. But I think we've been all triggered in one way or the other.
no, big time. Like I faced my demons. I could never imagine I still have them. Like the, you know, the big ones.
Yeah,
And then there was
yeah.
another thing for me, and I told you, and this is like, this is so, I mean, this is so bad. I found out that I'm codependent, and I'm codependent big time. Guys, who doesn't know what codependency means, it's basically like in a very simple language, it's like when you trying to save whole world, including your
Mhm.
friends, your family, your parents, I mean, your partner, without actually asking them if they need to be saved by you. And if they don't, when they don't agree to, for you, like, you know, for you to save them, you actually get angry and saying, ah, so you don't appreciate me because I'm trying
Mm,
to do like the
mm,
good thing for you and you don't want it. And actually, I mean, we're all codependent in one way or another, but then, hold on, I lost my thought. Oh yeah, but then, so because my brother, what happened? My brother decided to shut down his business, and I
mm.
started to try to find the solutions, how to save my brother's business, even though he didn't
Yeah,
ask me. My brother is 35 years old; he's an adult man, and then also my dad works with my brother, so my dad would lose a job if my brother
yeah.
as well. And it was so intense. I was telling all this to my friend Nadia, who lives in Paris. And Nadia was like, Yana, you're codependent. Just stop it. Just read the book. So people, I just want to show this. Codependent no more.
Product placement.
Yeah, product placement for all the people who never read this book. This is the book to read when you are like when you really notice it. And you know what was great about this book? I started to read it, and in the beginning I was like, so it's not me, I'm not that, like, you know, my stage of codependency, it's not that like serious. But then I came to the chapter where I was recognizing myself in every single line. Dominika, I'm a strong person, but I couldn't read it. I was like, I put the book next to me. I was like, oh my God, I just need a break from it because this is all about me. This is all fucking about
Yeah.
me. And I can't accept that this is like me. So great learning material, you know, to what to say. I'm codependent. Hello, my name is Yanina. I'm codependent. But again, I think like once we kind of acknowledge that we have a problem with
Mm.
ourselves, this is like the first step towards resolving the thing, you know, because yeah,
I
you know,
mean, we all have plenty of time these days, so we could
yeah,
use it for our own good, you know. But people always ask, like, how do you work on yourself, you know, because like it's okay. After some time, you can notice your patterns, but then the question is always, how do you work with it, you know? Do you have any tips on that? What if you notice something really like annoying, something that always triggers you, you always fight with your mom or whatever it is? How do you work with it actually?
it's a good question. How you work? I mean, you need to find the reason of the trigger. Usually, you know, people
Mm,
mirror you. So
mm,
usually, you know, when people don't like something in somebody, it means that there is a
mm.
part of it which is present in you as well, and you just deny this part of yourself. Um, so,
That's a good point. Yeah.
but like, you know, for example, if I want to apply it to myself, I need to ask myself question, why I was so kind of bound to prove to like the people that they are wrong when
Hmm.
they choose to be scared and I'm right. I'm right because I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I'm such a cool girl, you know. I'm enjoying my time. I'm doing yoga every day, you know, and going to Hyde
Mm,
Park. But yeah, I mean, and also, you know what, the interesting question, like if I want to ask myself, I usually tend to accept my friends the way they are. And there are a lot of things which I'm kind of, okay, like she or he is my friend. I don't like this part of his personality, but whatever. But then why
mhm.
again in this situation with Corona, why do I want so much to prove them that they're wrong? It's like, what is
Yeah,
there for me?
exactly.
You know, this
Exactly.
this
Yeah.
this great coaching question, what is
Yeah.
there for you? So what is there for
Yeah.
me? And
Yeah.
yeah, and also another interesting thing I noticed, because I'm talking to my mom often, and my mom has exactly the same challenges as me. It's crazy. Like sometimes she called me, she's like, Yana, listen, I
Mm.
had a fight again with my friend. I was like, Mom, I told you, like, don't discuss Corona. She's like, I know, but I couldn't hold myself. I just couldn't hold myself. I commented. I was like, Mom, next time, don't comment. And so yeah, no, we're going through completely the same
Yeah, but
shit with.
you know, there's no end goal really. Like, it's not that it will magically disappear from one day to another. But if you will bring your awareness to it every single time, like, you know, this trigger is just shaking you and you're going wild, that's how it's gonna lose its power again.
Yeah. And I think the most important thing is also not to blame yourself, which is super hard because I am blaming myself for being judgmental. I
Mm.
am blaming myself for being codependent. But then you just need to accept you with all your dark
Yeah.
sides, and then, you know, and then move on. And it's funny because, you know, like now I actually realized how much work I still have to do on myself in order to kind of
Mm.
love myself fully. I honestly thought I was much more like further in this, like in
Mm.
this thing, but no, I'm not. I kind of, I just don't know,
You
like, you
know,
know, I can compare myself as if it was like a Lego, you know, this Lego like thing for kids, Lego
yeah.
something put together and then it's like collapsed. And so this is me now. I'm looking at myself. I'm all like collapsed in pieces and I don't understand who I
Mm.
am anymore and like what to
Oh,
do.
wow. What you gonna do with that? What you
I'm
gonna
gonna,
do with those
well,
pieces?
I'm gonna send you more of these things which I sent you yesterday and it
Okay,
helps me a lot. And so,
good, good. So you
yeah,
see, sharing with someone helps, writing it down, speaking it out, whatever, you know. It's a
yeah.
personal thing. Each of us needs to find a tool, you know, to deal with those demons.
Guys, I want to share, like, because, you know, if you don't know, like Domi and me, we both did the same coaching course here in London. So we are coaches and we can coach ourselves and other people. And so what we did, like many years ago, we did this when Domi had a lot of questions to herself. She actually wrote me all her thoughts, and she sent them to me by mail. And I, like, in the places where I could question what she was like stating, I wrote her coaching questions. And for sometimes I was coaching her through email. And remember, you told me like it was really helpful. And so
Yeah.
yesterday I did exactly the same thing, because I told you, Dominika, I'm so entangled in my thoughts. I think I'm getting crazy
Mm.
because I'm anxious all the time. I'm blaming myself all the time that I'm not doing enough and all this stuff. And I'm going for a walk in a Holland Park and I feel super anxious and I can't like bear it anymore. So I sat in the evening, I wrote down, not everything, but like big chunk of it. And when I wrote it down, it felt so good already. And then I sent it to you, and then you replied to me. You said, Jan, I think you answered half of your questions. You already
Yeah.
answered like yourself, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, and
Because it
so
was this very nice like thought processing. So you yourself, you are, very self-reflective person. So you managed to ask yourself and then give yourself the answer. So it felt like at the end of the whole thing, you actually were much closer to knowing what's happening in your head than before. So
definitely,
self-coaching, people.
yeah. Domi, you know what? Hold on. We have 19 minutes. Can you
Mm-hmm.
please talk about yoga? So can you please
Uh-huh.
cover this thing, how you decided to finally film your videos, and what were the emotional situation about this? Okay, I mean, I know it, but it's so interesting
Um,
if you share.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I always wanted to do, but I never had time for, or I always had plenty excuses of why not to do it, was, making some yoga videos and posting them online. I'm a yoga teacher. I'm teaching usually like in studios, but at this moment I was like, yeah, I have all the time in the world now to do something with my own creative project. Uh, but somehow I faced this resistance again. I was like, all the time in the world, yes, but why am I still not doing that? You probably asked me that, like, Domi, why wouldn't you like do it now? And I was like, no, I don't have the right equipment. I don't have the right
You said
micro.
your camera was broken. You're like, I broke my camera on Bali.
It is. It is broken. I need to have it connected to the power bank now if I want to use it, but it's still working. Yeah, just the battery stopped working. I mean, yeah, and then like again, you can ask yourself, why do you keep on finding excuses? Do you really want to do it? Maybe it's not something you want to do it. Maybe other people like made you think you want to do it. Or maybe, yeah, there's some fears that are blocking you from actually putting yourself out there. And I know it's one of my fears, to doing this live with you. I mean, it was your idea to do live, and I said yes to it. But I was questioning it many times, like, why did I say yes? What do I have to say? Do I have something to offer? Do I have something valuable to share? So it was similar with yoga. And one of the questions, like I asked you, I said, Jana, but do the world really need one more yoga video
Of
on the internet?
course,
you
of
know?
course.
And then we decided, hell yeah, because yes, everything has been done already, but not by you. So I took it
Yeah,
personally, and I thought, yeah, if any of my students who are all over the world now can benefit from my video, I'm gonna put it out there. And also, like, I found yoga so useful during this time. I think you can also
absolutely,
relate because you're doing yoga
absolutely.
almost every day.
I'm doing
Yeah,
yoga every day. I'm so proud of myself. No,
yeah, me
it's
too.
amazing.
So it really, like, it's this tool that, especially when you're going through something hard, it creates the space for you to step back. And I thought, yeah, I mean, why denying, people from that gift? If this is something I can bring up, yeah, I mean, let's do it. So I did posted it, especially within my yoga community. I got great feedback, and I kept posting since then. So I think there are like 6 or 7 videos on my YouTube account that I have with my boyfriend, and I kind of, yeah, I think I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did use this time also, to develop one of my creative ideas.
Do
Let's
you
call it.
think, okay, tell me honestly, if this lockdown hadn't happened,
Yeah,
would you do your videos? Would you record your videos now or no? What?
no, I don't
No?
know. I don't think it was. I don't think it would happen. I was like too busy too busy living life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No.
Even like
All of
if
us.
we are traveling, so I could find this time. But I had so many things happening around, meeting so many people, changing places so often. So actually, also I used this lockdown to rest a lot. To be honest, after we got a place to stay, I realized how much I missed having this routine and this stability and all the time in the world for myself. So let's be honest, like staying alone in the house wasn't a challenge for me at all. I
Yeah,
think you can relate, but we are both
absolutely.
introverts. We are never bored. Like there are plenty of
No.
books to read, whatever is in your, whatever you want to do. Mm, as, but yeah, like, no, if lockdown didn't happen, I don't think I would, I would do anything with that.
And by the way, I was doing today your meditation because I'm telling you honestly, it's such a pleasure to do like this guided meditation. And you know, it's like I'm hearing your voice, you're my friend, and it's just so
Mm,
soothing. Domi, it's just so soothing. So of course you can tell me, Yana, there are millions of meditations, guided
yeah.
meditations on YouTube, and that's true. But these meditations, like I have your voice, so it's like it changes everything. It's like I'm even
Mm.
focused more. Funny enough, I'm like, oh my god, when I'm hearing Dominika's voice, I'm really focusing on my toes. No, seriously. So
On
no,
your toes.
yeah, because well, you're saying like, you know, feel your toes
Yeah.
and then na 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 na. So
Yeah.
it's crazy. Yeah. Okay, do you want
Yeah,
to
but
share? Yeah.
no, just wanted to say, like, if any of you guys who are listening think that there is something you're postponing forever, like, it's never too late, but you never know who you are going to touch with your craft or with your,
Absolutely.
project. Because I also thought it's completely unnecessary. There are amazing teachers who are offering top quality videos, on YouTube, but who is doing that? I also have my favorite teachers from the past,
Hmm.
from London, from Poland, and I would love to actually practice with them. I would love to practice with their voice, with their guidance. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, do it. If there is something you think like the world doesn't need anymore, no, if it drives you, do it. Just go for it.
And also, you know, like, I mean, we discussed it so many times, you know, sometimes like, even if your like your point of view or your advice will serve one person, it's like
Yeah.
already your job is done. And it's funny because we had a chat yesterday again, me, Laura, and Lisa. And like I kind of noticed that we all kind of have the same issue because Laura was like, oh, you know, I feel like I'm not doing enough. Lisa was like, oh, me too. You know, I feel like I'm not doing enough. But then I'm telling myself, oh, at least I do work out every day. And I was like, girls, listen, I like with Marina, my Russian friend, we kind of doing these great things when every evening we send to each other the list of the things which we have done during the day. And we put in on the list everything, for example, like cooking,
Mm-hmm.
going for food shopping, and then like resting, taking a nap, doing yoga, I don't know, cleaning one boot, something like this.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you put all of the things which you did during the day on the list, you actually realized how much you have done. And Domi, we've
Mm-hmm.
been doing it probably for 10 days. And this really like, it really kind of, it brought me to realize that I'm doing a lot every day. I'm doing a lot.
Yeah.
And so I shared it with Lisa and Laura. I was like, girls, listen, just try this. It's freaking working. It's great. And they were like, oh, it's a good
Yeah.
idea. We're going to try it. So you see, like, even if like, who am I, some Yanina Nikitina, to share my, you know, my insights with people? But if it's going to be, you know, if it will serve for one person, it's already great. That's it.
Definitely. Definitely.
And
And remember that doing things for yourself, for your self-care, should be also included on that list. Because people sometimes think if they don't do something like productive in this
mhm,
understanding of, producing something, making it tangible, touchable, I don't know.
mhm.
Uh, yeah, existing, producing, making it out there, then it doesn't count. But like, why not using this time also to be with you, to do things you like, actually, to do all the things you were postponing for ages. So it's not only cleaning that one boot. Maybe you can
Exactly. Yeah,
also,
yeah, yeah.
meditate and put it on the list.
Yeah. Yeah. Domi, 10 minutes left. Do you want to share quickly about your life?
Yeah, I can, but I still like it. I'm still processing that, but
It's up to you. If you
um,
want, we can not to talk about it.
no, you have no, maybe just quickly I will share. So for me, the next step of like after putting my online videos, I thought I'm gonna teach a live class. Why? Because I really like live classes. Janina as well, she's
Hmm.
benefiting from them a lot. Live class is basically, you have set time, you have a teacher, you have a group of people who are doing yoga with you in different places at the same time. So how is it different from like the video? Like Janina said, like basically you cannot just lay on the mat and have
No.
your tea because there's a teacher there.
Exactly.
So I decided, because I like it myself, I decided to do it for my students. But I have mixed feelings about that. Even after the class, I had a feeling. So even during the class, I had a feeling that I cannot provide them with the quality that I wish for, you know? So, oh no, the cat is crying. Like when I teach a class, like I pay attention to all the details. Probably my students would agree. Like I really like, I don't know, to choose the right music, the lighting, the smells, whatever it is, the touch. He's here. And I felt like I cannot do it like live, that I cannot see my students. I cannot feel like their energy. I cannot adjust my class to their needs. That it was just like more mechanical. Okay. But then, who knows? Maybe the future is online. Maybe, maybe we will all start working online. Maybe I will have to learn how to create this without all these extras. Yoga is very simple. You do not need a lot to do it. You do not need candles or essential oils. So maybe there is a way, but maybe it's something I need to practice more. And and for sure I would need to practice it more to become comfortable with that. Because at that very class, I didn't feel comfortable and I didn't feel it was good enough, let's say. So I see there is space for improvement.
But because you were doing it on Instagram Live, and I told you, because I'm doing my yoga I'm doing it on Zoom, and on Zoom the teacher can see you. And it's true. And you can see other participants if you want. And it's true, once I was doing my class, so somebody was in San Francisco near the Golden Gate Bridge, and you're like, oh my God, we're all in this together. I'm in London, somebody in San Francisco, there was somebody from South Africa. And Elena, the owner of the studio, she said, guys, thank you so much for showing up. Just like seeing all your faces, moving together like in Vinyasa flow in all parts of the world, like it just gives me so much hope, hope for the future. And it's great. And I can still feel your energy because we're all in this together. And,
I don't think Instagram Live is a good place for yoga because you have plenty of people just, like scrolling and passing through. I think, there are much better platforms for that to create this more intimate feeling for the class. Yeah.
And also, I remember you told me like, oh, Jana, I don't know who is coming in, who is coming out. And now I'm also like watching, like there was 15 people, now it's 10. I'm like, okay, so 5 people left. But the truth is, it doesn't matter. Like, for example, today in the morning, I was like 15 minutes late on my yoga. And I feel so uncomfortable because, when I join, obviously teacher can see like Yanina joined. And I'm like, I'm like this bad student who is late in the morning, came to my mat. And I pretended that she didn't see that I was late. So I was like, boom, on my mat. And then I'm doing my yoga. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's not your problem. It's my problem that I was late, and it's, she can't blame herself for Yanina who was late,
By the way, guys, the videos are on YouTube on Denim Buddies. If any of you feels like doing some meditation or yoga, please come. Please come.
Of course. No, the videos are so good, Domi. So good. I love them. You have a big future.
Oh, definitely.
Of course. Why not?
No, good to hear that. Well, I hope yoga will be a big part of my future. I love doing that. So, can't wait to go back to teaching, really, like teaching in real studio as well.
Okay, so we have 6 minutes. First of all, I need to figure out how to finish it before, because it usually shows, right? When I'm not sure where is the time.
I think it will show you, but it's up to an hour. So you need to,
because I need to end it before if I want to actually save it, and we want to save it.
After you're gonna end it, you will have an option if you want to download it or save it for later. Yeah.
Okay. Guys, any questions? How they usually say at the end of life? Any questions? I can't even move those comments because Dalia, I can see you.
You didn't ask me what's the future of my traveling. Can I really travel?
Yes.
Will I go home? Is there any flights to take me back to Europe?
Is there any, what is your plan? Okay, tell me, 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes. Tell me what's your plan.
There's no flights at the moment, so there is no problem. Well, so for now, we have to stay in one place. We are planning to work if we find a job throughout
Mhm.
winter season. Now it's winter in New Zealand. So ideally, in 3 or 4 months, we should be able to travel within New Zealand and still see, hopefully see like this beautiful country with before going back home. So our visas are still valid for like until next January, and we hope
Okay.
until then we will be able to do both, to see the country and to fly back home. Yeah.
Domi, but you know what? Like when I think about you, I'm not an envious person. Like God didn't give me this feeling of envy.
Yeah.
But when I'm thinking about you,
Mm,
I'm like, this is such an amazing experience to be with your boyfriend, like at the other part of the world, in this particular situation, which might never, well, hopefully it will never
mm,
repeat again. But at the same time, when I'm thinking about myself, I'm very happy also that like I'm now, let's say, by myself. I don't have family, I don't have kids, because it allowed me to process a lot of things, like really,
mm,
and I'm also happy that I'm in London because, as in London, all the parks are open, so I can go for a walk for the whole day. I'm not limited, like comparing to Paris and
yeah.
Spain and Portugal. So I can't complain. But like it was very important months for me because I needed
Mm,
to, like, also face some of the things which I was kind of hiding probably. And also there is another thing. I realized I don't want to go back to work, and I'm not the only one. There are plenty of people who don't want, like, I'm dreading when I'm thinking about it. But then
mm,
the only question I'm asking myself, what's your plan? You don't want to go to work. What is your plan? How can you
mm,
monetize all your skills? And I'm kind of
mm,
learning from other people what I can do to,
mm,
I'm like, because I hate to be 156 remained. Okay, I hate to be in the victim mode. So I'm like, okay, think about it. What do you want to do?
mm,
Coaching? You want to sell your knitting stuff? Just figure it out,
mm.
and then little by little, like just get rid of your job.
Yeah. Just to finish this chat, I want to say that, yeah, whatever you're going through, guys, you're not alone. As you
I
see,
know.
like, no matter which part of the world you are, like, yeah, we are all in this together.
Mm.
We need to finish it up, I think. Right?
Yeah.
It's gonna cut us off.
126. Tell something.
No, thank you for having me, Anna. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And if anybody joined us and took something from this conversation, awesome, even better.
It's great. Yeah, it's great. It's actually
Mm.
not that scary. So now I can do easily lives. I was like, oh my God, it's so scary. No,
I
it's
feel
fun.
like you will be streaming now every evening, like wisdom, Janina's wisdom from the couch.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a new project being born.
Okay,
Uh,
guys, thank you so much for joining
thank you, Lisa.
and thank you, my Russian speaking friends who don't speak English or speak very little English, for actually joining and supporting me. And it's funny because one of my friends, Dmitry, him, he wrote just like at the beginning, he's like, oh my God, we're buying the tickets to go to New Zealand. So Domi, you inspired people, definitely.
Uh, I mean, as soon as they open the borders, come. Apparently, it's gonna be the only time, like, when you can really see nature on your own without crowds of tourists around. So,
Hmm.
yeah, Maya, maybe. Huh?
Okay,
Next episode.
shall we end? Domi, thank you so much. And I'm gonna end it. It's like 8 seconds left.
Cool.
And thanks again. I love you very much.
Have a good night, guys. I'm just starting my day, so